Hi, good day everyone. I'm Bren Oriel Arvalo and I'm going to continuously discuss the chapter 4 which is about the recruitment. To begin, let us look at the EEO set of laws under the topic of the law and recruitment. Now, allow me to define what the EEO set of law is. EEO set of laws, or also called as Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, is the federal agency charged with the task of enforcing federal employment discrimination laws. While there are restrictions on the type of company covered, the company with at least 15 employees, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission requires the collection of data. It investigates discrimination claims, again for organizations with more than 15 employees. And there are four specific EEO set of laws. First, the company is fully committed to equal employment opportunity. The company must be committed to providing a work environment free of discrimination and harassment, as well as treating employees with respect and dignity. Second, does not unlawfully conducted discrimination. It is to ensure that individuals with disabilities have an equal opportunity to participate in all programs and activities. Third is, it is the policy of college in full accordance with the law not to discriminate in employment, students' admissions, and student services. The particular university, college, or institution recognize its responsibility to promote equal opportunity in employment, students' admissions, and student services by actively recruiting minorities and women. Fourth, the company will not discriminate against or harass any employee or applicant for employment. The company will use affirmative action to ensure that no such discrimination occurs in any of its practices like hiring, upgrading, transfer, recruitment, advertising, or other forms of compensation and selection for training are example of such employment practices. However, although the EEO's hiring laws are clear on discrimination, an exemption known as bona fide occupational qualification or BFOQ may occur. Now, let me define what a BFOQ is. BFOQ is a quality or attribute that is reasonably necessary to the normal operation of the business and can be used in the selection process. A company must demonstrate that a specific employee could not perform the job duties due to gender, age, religion, disability, or national origin in order to obtain a BFOQ exemption. The following are some examples of BFOQ exemptions. The first one is, a private religious school may require a faculty member to be of the same denomination. The second one is, mandatory retirement is required for airline pilots at a certain age. Next line is, a clothing store that sells male clothing is allowed to hire only male models. And the fourth one is, if an essence of restaurant relies on one sex versus another, example Hooters, they may not be required to hire male servers. Now, to continuously proceed, let us go now with the disparate impact and disparate treatment. The disparate impact and disparate treatment are the two other factors to consider when creating a job description. Again, these are the two classifications for employment discrimination cases. Disparate impact occurs when organization discriminates through the use of a process affecting a protected group as a whole rather than consciously intending to discriminate. On the other hand, disparate treatment is when one person is intentionally treated differently than another, does not necessarily impact the larger protected group as a whole, as in disparate impact. Here are some examples of disparate impact which could include the following. The first one, requirement of a high school diploma which may not be important to employment, could discriminate against racial groups. Second, a high requirement which could limit the ability of women or persons of a certain races to apply for position. Third, written tests that do not relate directly to the job. The fourth, awarding of pay raises on the basis of, say, fewer than 5 years of experience could discriminate against people older than 40. Now, let's proceed with disparate treatment. The challenge in these cases is determining whether someone was treated differently because of their race or gender or for another reasons. Here are the two examples. 1. A both male and female miss work and the female is fired but the male is not. Second, a company does not hire people of certain race or gender without BFOQ. And that is all about disparate impact and disparate treatment. Now, at this juncture, let us now look at another subtopic within recruitment, the recruitment strategies. So before we proceed with the details of recruitment strategies, allow me to show you the overview of the steps of the recruitment process. It includes staffing plans, develop job analysis, write job description, job specifications and development, know the laws relating to recruitment, develop a recruitment plan, implement recruitment plan, accept application materials, and selection process. To better understand the recruitment strategies, I constructed a table that clearly demonstrates the benefits and drawbacks of various recruitment methods or strategies. Some organizations choose to hire individuals who are solely responsible for the HR recruiting function. Professional organizations, websites, and other methods will be discussed in this subtopic are used by recruiters to find individuals. First, the recruiters. They excel at networking and frequently attend events where potential candidates will be present. Recruiters are classified into three types: executive research firms, temporary recruitment or staffing firms, and corporate recruiters. This strategy can save time, but it is also costly, resulting in a large budget and less control over the final candidates to be interviewed. The second method is the campus recruiting, which can hire people to grow with the organization. Considering the colleges and universities can be excellent sources of new candidates, usually an entry-level positions. It also has a plentiful source of talent, which can be great sources of people with specialized training with specific area. It is, however, time-consuming and only suitable for certain types of experience levels. The third strategy is professional associations, which are often non-profit groups with the aim of advancing a particular professions, and there is professional association for almost every profession. It is industry specific and encourages networking, but on other side, placing an ad may cost money and networking may take a lot of time. Finding groups that are relevant to your company and building relationship with their members are crucial to adapting. This is a recruitment technique. This kind of networking might connect you with professionals in your field who may be seeking for work or know someone who is. Websites or online recruiting is the fourth strategy. If you ever had to seek for work, you're aware that there are several websites available to assist you. It is quick, inexpensive, and accommodating to diversity. However, it can also be overly general, in which case you would have to deal with hundreds of resumes. The fifth is social media, which is a great area of establish a media presence and draw in a range of employees. The purpose of using social media as a recruiting tool is to spread awareness of your company, highlight an engaging culture, and share success stories of employees. Although this method is quite cheap or inexpensive, there are certain aspects to keep in mind such as time consumption and overwhelming response. The next method is events, where several groups host gatherings every year so that individuals can network and discover cutting-edge innovations. And it can give candidates access to certain target markets, but it can also be pricey and it's not always the best target market. Special or specific interest group or SIG makes up the seventh tactic. It is an industry-specific group that may demand membership and focuses on particular subject for members. However, further study is needed for particular SIGs connected to occupations. Referrals are the eighth recruitment strategy. The majority of formal referral programs have been successful, so it was recommended that a program be included in the overall HRM strategic plan and recruitment strategy. However, use caution when relying solely on recommendation for hiring, as this can result in lack of diversity in the workplace. We have this called nepotism, which it is the practice of favoring the hiring of relatives of present workers, which can also result in a lack of diversity and management problems at work. And the next recruitment approach is to accept unsolicited applications and resumes. The downside of this strategy is it takes a lot of time, even using time-saving keyword resume tools. Internet and or traditional advertisements make up the ninth recruitment strategy. It can be pricey but typically targets a certain audience. The employee leasing comes next. Because the leasing company manages compensation and benefit, it relieves administrative burden of smaller businesses. If the position is permanent, it may also be useful substitute for temporary employment. Although you may spend much expense and have a less control over who interviews for position, you are still highly anticipated. The public employment agency are the 11th strategy in recruitment, and they may be able to hire a more diverse workforce, offer free services because they are government organizations and have as many 2,300 service locations nationally. However, it is anticipated that you will receive lot of resume which can take time. Lastly are the labor unions. While building relationships with the union, this strategy has access to specialized expertise but may not be applicable to all vocations or industries. After we identify the recruitment strategy, let's move on to the cost of recruitment now. Budgeting for applicant acquisition cost is a component of recruitment planning. Here is how you can calculate the cost of recruitment for the month. This is just an example on how you calculate your recruitment cost. So, cost per hire is equal to advertising cost plus recruiter cost plus referral cost plus social media cost plus event cost. So after we done the recruitment strategy as well as the budget and expenses in recruitment planning, we want to know if how effective our recruiting methods are. In this case, we may look at number known as a yield ratio to determine how successful our recruiting strategies are. The proportion of candidates from one source who advance to the next stage of selection process is known as a yield ratio. For instance, they get an interview. An example for this is that there is a 26% yield, 52 over 200, If you receive 200 resumes in response to an advertisement you put with a professional organization and 52 of those are selected for an interview, we can determine the optimum location to conduct recruitment for a specific position. Use these calculations. Additionally, keep in the mind that various yield ratios may change depending on the job at hand, and a greater yield ratio will need to account for methods associated cost. So after we have finished the recruiting process, we can begin with the selection process, and this will be the focus of chapter 5, selection, to be discussed by other group. That would be the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye!